Talkin TNT with Conway.
Hello, my lovely listeners. It is I, Conway Fitzgerald. Happy holidays to all. I hope you all have the opportunity to eat and drink way too much. I mean, I can tell you, I'm having a lot of fun. In fact, my great uncle F. Scott's looking down on me now going, "My word, man, slow down." But I am on an extended staycation, and I am hard at work on more outstanding free entertainment. My gift to all of you, my treasured listeners. It's been far too long since I've done one of these talkie videos. In fact, I think it's been over a year. Bad content creator. Bad. So allow me to kick off the rust a bit and see if I still got it. Today on the show, let's break some news. This week in Elvish Dialogue, and a new segment I'm calling, Am I Losing My Mind? But first, I wanted to alert all of my lovely listeners, those of you who have invested a significant amount of your lives in the Giant Killer's experience, not to fear. Chapter 12 is almost done. It is gonna blow your minds. 13's already in here and mostly written as well. So those are coming, promise. I've already started getting my daughters hard at work on some brand new art for it. I'm here for you. I'm just not a goddamn one-man Netflix. That was my imitation of Sergeant Lincoln Osiris from the movie Tropic Thunder. Anyway, so these things take time, and I will not release anything until it's just right.
Let's break some news.
I'm pleased to announce that I'm breaking some new ground artistically. That's right. I have been cast and appear in an audio drama as an actor only. That's right, I play Chuman in the finale of J.V. Torres' epic Rise of King Asilas. There is a link in the description. It's futuristic sci-fi. I play kind of a snarky nerd. Obviously, that required a lot of artistic depth for me as an actor to pull off. Also, the new Triumvirate, Chapter 11, was featured on an Apple podcast. Yeah, so look, I made it to Apple. This is a group of curators. They go around trying to find the very best in audio drama. It's called Sonic Society by Mutual Audio. They are the curators of fine audio drama and called my stuff fantasy audio drama at its finest.
But this time I feel it, and I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
So I've also left a link for that if you want to go check it out. Or if you're on Apple and that's the way you like to listen, now you can. I've also embarked on a brand new artistic pursuit, that of writer/director. That's right, I have begun producing full cast audio dramas with actors. We'll talk about this first one that I made in a minute, but I just wanted to share with you folks how much fun I am having directing. I truly enjoy it, though it does slow down the process quite a bit. But there is a brand new project that I'm going to also announce today that I think has between a 1% to 3% chance of breaking YouTube.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. It's called Descent, the true story of Anakin Skywalker. Yes, it is original fan fiction, which is also breaking new ground for me. Written by yours truly. I have engendered a tremendous cast with fantastic performances, and the script is fire. Why, you might ask? Why, Conway? Why create a Star Wars fan fiction? Well, way back when, after coming out of the theater and seeing Revenge of the Sith back in, I think it was 2005, I remember vividly walking out of that theater and going, no, that's not how it happened. That's not what happened. And I think a lot of people agreed with me that That movie, the story as it was told, had a lot of plot holes, and the dialogue was, oh, God. Poor Hayden Christensen. So I thought to myself, someday I'm gonna fix that. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, wow, I have an opportunity. I can do that right now. So I wrote it. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, I think you'll dig it. It's a 4-part series. Here's the tease. Descent takes place right after the first movie, A New Hope. So it's episode 4.5. Dorez Touchant, the most famous media host in the galaxy, wants to interview Darth Vader, so he attempts to do so. So let's just say his assistant, Serene Nabalu, who is a truth-sayer from Naboo, is the one who gets the interview. We learn from Darth Vader himself what really happened. I hope to release part 1 at the end of this month. It's coming. I'm very excited. It's going to have all of the music and the sound effects. I can't wait. And now it's time for a new segment I'm calling This Week in Elvish Dialogue.
This week in Elvish Dialogue.
Telling the story of a half-elven female often involves words and phrases that defy a natural English translation. So Airmine explains them to me in my prose, but many of you write to me still a little confused as to what it all really means. So here I will attempt to clarify some of these words. Doiki, one of my trusted beta readers, specifically asked me about this one. He said, you use dro and doiki interchangeably. What's the difference? I asked this of Airmine, and she explained it to me. Do means under or beneath. Like in French, they say sous. You'd be the sous chef if you're just beneath the chef. So do regale would mean the adjutant to the captain, right? Iki means a collection of living things. Like a shalai iki is a meadow of flowers. Shalai means a wildflower. Iki means a collection of living things, all of them there together. So when you say do iki, you mean that which lives together underneath. So it could mean any number of things besides drow-elves. My best analogy would be the phrase from down under. Of course, it could mean you were an Australian or a Kiwi from New Zealand. It could also mean you were a kangaroo, a koala, a dingo, or maybe even an emu. So, in answer to that question, Dro means dark elf, Doiki means that which came from beneath, which includes all of those other nasty creatures. Bidan Tout. There was also some questions about why Thebkaru would wield a broadsword. Not exactly the typical weapon of the assassin class. The answer is that he was the last living member of the Bidan Tout, which means bearers of the broadsword. They were the eunuchs who were trained all day to be the guardians of the sovereign and his family. A tout is a broadsword. I think they chose those because they were all eunuchs, so it's kind of compensating for their own lack of a dick. Bidan means to bear proudly, so Bidan Tout, bearer of the broadsword. That's what that means. Midgerin. Airmine thought it very important that I clarify this one because it gets misunderstood by non-elves all the time. A Midgerin is an elf that has sex with a non-elf out of a lack of restraint. I mean, the slang would be like a goat fucker, essentially. Theb called Airmine's father a Midgerin for what he did to her human mother, and it fit. Many think that it means the product of this kind of relationship, which it is not. Airmine is not a Midgerin. Her father was. Let me know in the comments if there's any other words I've used that might require more clarity that you'd like to know more about.
Am I losing my mind?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Will you check me on that? Am I losing my fucking mind? Could you check me on this? Am I losing my mind? I don't understand what this has to do with anything.
You know, sometimes I think I'm just the best damn fiction writer on the planet. I have no want of self-assurance. Though I do often scratch my head at the way certain things get received by you, my treasured audience. You know, you might have missed it, but back at the end of September, I released my first ever full-cast audio drama. It's called Into the Zapper. Now, I say you might have missed it because as well as it did to attract a lot of new viewers. Welcome, those of you. Welcome. Many of my existing ones jumped ship, and I think it was because they were pretty freaked out by it. And I understand why. I was on the fence about whether to produce it at all because of what the story entails, but it was just something that had to happen. What it is a warning to all of us in this great country that we cannot take our liberty and freedom for granted. You give the rich and powerful a chance, and believe you me, they would be delighted to take away all of your freedoms and run this nation as an autocratic totalitarian state. That would certainly be better for business. I think I invented the term corpo state to describe Renew's whole role in governing the state of New York in 2045. The reason I think it's a very important story is it's about how good people, folks just like you and me, can lose our humanity like that. And in the pursuit of some kind of financial or political objective. That's human nature. And it's something that I just wanted to make clear to all of you. I couldn't write this as a PG story. I needed to add all those four-letter words in there. It had to be told just as I wrote it. If you haven't yet, please check it out and leave a comment below as to how you received it, as I began to question whether...
Am I losing my mind?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Will you check me on this? Am I losing my fucking mind? Could you check me on this? Am I losing my mind? I don't understand what this has to do with anything.
So that's all I have for you today, my lovelies. Thanks, as always, so much for listening. You know, the social clicks, they help a lot. You know, you do the thing with the likes and the comments. It really does help me. You know, I mean, all of this experience won't cost you a penny because I'm keeping it for free. But that's one thing that you can do to help me expand the channel and carry on. All right? Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday and look forward to Descent.
This has been Talking TNT with Conway. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends.